So I had so many good teachers right from kindergarten all the way up through high school, and I can remember all of their names. I can remember what they looked like. I can remember just the time and care they spent with me, and the way they kind of encouraged some of my interests and young sort of talents. Um, but one I keep coming back to is my high school band director, Sir Orvin Anderson. Um, I had a pretty rough go in high school. I struggled in school a lot. I had a lot of interests, but sometimes didn't perform well academically, and I was also just dealing with a lot of stuff in my kind of personal life. And one way that manifested was I skipped class, especially math class. And a lot of the ways I would do that was instead of I never skipped class to go get into trouble, but I would skip class to go hang out in the band room, and I would practice my instruments, but a lot of times I would just sit with Mr. Anderson and play tapes of, jazz tapes or classical music tapes, and we talk about the music, and we talk about the, past bands that he had directed, and just having these wonderful conversations. And I remember one day, because I always thought he didn't know I was skipping class, and I remember one day I showed up during math class. That was probably the 20th time I'd skipped that year. And and he looked at me and said, "Shouldn't you be in math class right now?" And I was just like, "Oh no, the jig is up." But incredibly, he never kicked me out. And I don't know if this is this is a good or bad thing, from a teacher's perspective. But for me as a student, I really needed that, and I needed that kind of safe space that he made possible for me to go and be comfortable and be supported and just feel able to be myself. And I remember once the vice principal came around looking for me, and I heard his footsteps coming down the hallway, so I ran into one of the practice rooms and locked the door, and I could hear Mr. Fast, the vice principal, said to Mr. Anderson, "Have you seen Melissa Martin?" And Mr. Anderson goes, "I haven't seen her." The vice principal leaves, and 2 minutes later I come out, and I'm still really grateful for that all those years later, because in the end I turned out okay. I probably should have gone to math class, so kids, make sure you go. But more than anything, I'm just really grateful that I had teachers that sometimes recognized sometimes what a student needs is that kind of personal support and that personal space to be themselves. And sometimes they need that more than the academics, and they'll figure that out once they have the other part in place. So I always had so many teachers like that, and I think about them all the time.